Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel, Ask Jimmy Smith. If you are selling on Amazon or shipping products at all, knowing about this one tip, specifically dimensional weight, could save you a fortune on your Amazon FBA shipments and even other shipments that you're sending for Merchant Fulfilled and other platforms. So we have a ton of stuff to really unpack today, and ultimately this might just make the difference between maximizing your profit and overspending in your Amazon FBA business. Now, I actually have a tool that I'm going to be going through a little bit later on how to use it, why it's important. You can actually get that for free at my website at askjimmysmith.com/FBA shipping. See the link below and in the description. But ultimately, this tool is going to make sure that you aren't overspending on your FBA shipping boxes. And I'm going to discuss how this tool works as a free download and spreadsheet for you to just easily implement into your shipments today. So if you've ever wondered why your shipping costs on Amazon are super high on some of your shipments, in many cases, it just comes down to something known as dimensional weight. And so what we're going to do is dive deep into this concept, which can be a game changer for your bottom line. But before we do dive in, let me remind you of our contest. You could actually win a copy of my Amazon best-selling book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income, and get access to the free course and audiobook that comes with it. So to participate, simply leave a comment down below and ensure that you've hit the notification bell and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out when we announce the lucky winner in our next video. Also, if you're interested in joining or applying to join an advanced community of e-commerce entrepreneurs to learn and grow and scale your business, check out the Business Building Legends community that I own and operate at askjimmysmith.com/legends. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What exactly is dimensional weight? Now, don't let that term scare you off. It's not as complicated as it might sound. Dimensional weight, which you might also hear being called volumetric weight, is a pricing technique that's utilized by every shipping carrier, at least as far as I know, it's every shipping carrier. So the idea is that the cost to ship a package shouldn't solely be about how much it weighs, but also about how much space that it occupies. So the carriers aren't just considering the actual weight of your package, they're also paying attention to its volumetric or dimensional weight as well. So imagine you have a huge box filled with styrofoam peanuts, which isn't allowed on Amazon, but just stay with me here. Sure, it is extremely light, but it's also taking up a lot of space on a delivery truck. So it's a massive box with something very light inside. Now imagine another box that is very small, but it's packed to the brim with lead. It's small and it's fairly heavy though in terms of weight. Well, it wouldn't make sense for that massive but light package to be cheaper to ship just because it's super lightweight, right? That's precisely where dimensional weight comes into the equation. So understanding the dimensional weight can make a world of difference in your Amazon FBA business, especially when it comes to managing your shipping costs and maximizing your profits, because you may have a bunch of lightweight products in a big box, but due to the dimensional weight of the box, you could be overspending on the shipping charges. So the key is to get the actual weight of the box to the dimensional weight minimum or higher, so you are truly paying for the weight you are shipping. We're going to be looking at this example for that free sheet in a little bit that I mentioned at the top of the video. But before we get to that, let's take a look at this article by carbon6.io on Amazon's dimensional weight pricing. Okay, so as you can see, I've pulled up this article on dimensional weight pricing. There's table of contents and everything. We'll make sure to link this down below in the description if you'd like to read the whole thing. But it talks about what is Amazon's dimensional weight pricing. And here we can see that dimensional weight pricing is a method used by Amazon to determine the cost of shipping a package based on its size and weight. This pricing method takes into account the amount of space a package takes up on a truck or plane rather than just its actual weight. If you actually want to know the formula for this, by the way, here it is. The formula used to calculate dimensional weight is typically the length by the width by the height of the box in inches divided by a dimensional weight divisor. So in Amazon's case, that divisor is 139, which is the most common within the US shipping industry standard. It is 5,000 for calculating the dimensional weight of packages shipped across the UK and Europe. But since this video is specifically geared towards Amazon FBA sellers in the US, same with the tracker or the calculator sheet I'll show you in a minute, all of this is for US sellers. But this is the divisor that Amazon uses, 139, currently as of the time of this recording in July of 2023. Now, other shipping carriers use larger or smaller numbers. I believe they're almost all larger numbers, but Amazon uses the most common one within the US shipping industry, and therefore currently we're doing shipments through UPS. That's the partnered carrier with Amazon at this point. So this is how UPS also calculates these things for Amazon shipments. So the resulting number is then compared to the actual weight of the package, and the greater of the two values is used as the package's billable weight for shipping purposes. So simply put, if a package is large but relatively light, it would have a higher dimensional weight than the actual weight. So the dimensional weight would be used as the billable weight. So for example, if I'm going to be talking about this just pure example's sake, let's say you have a box that has a 25-pound dimensional weight, but you are shipping in the actual weight of 15 pounds. In that case, Amazon is going to charge you for 25 pounds because the box is so large that they are using the dimensional weight instead of the actual weight. However, if you have a box that is 25 pounds of dimensional weight and you are shipping in 40 pounds, then Amazon's going to use the 40-pound number. So you're actually getting charged for every pound that you're putting in. You aren't getting charged more because you put in a light amount of weight. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, you want to be at the dimensional weight or higher to be maximizing the value of your shipments, and that's where this calculator will come into play. Now, in addition to the FBA shipments, we aren't going to get into this too much, but dimensional weight is also being used across its entire catalog, across Amazon's entire catalog, excluding apparel, and that's as of 2022. And it's used to calculate the fulfillment fees for large standard size SKUs, as well as small, medium, and large oversized SKUs. And it applies to multi-channel fulfillment and small and light, which that program is going away in August of 2023. Ultimately, though, we are talking about this from a shipping FBA shipment perspective. So you can kind of ignore some of this. If you really want to dive deep into how this all plays out, you can go look at Amazon's information, their terms of service, etc. Here's two big issues that Carbon 6 says for dimensional weight pricing causes Amazon sellers, and one is the increased shipping costs, which that's what we're discussing today. So here, think of it as a ton of feathers versus a ton of steel. They both weigh the same, but because feathers are less dense than steel, the feathers could take up more room and resources. So the feathers might be 10 times the size of a box as the steel. And so the feathers, even though they weigh the same, might cost way more to ship than the steel in that particular example. And so we're going to have the calculator here in a second. And this is kind of how the dimensional weight calculation plays out in case you are curious of doing this calculation yourself. All right, now let's get into this free calculator that I actually got from a friend of mine named Travis Hettenbach. He actually owns a prep center called ICT Prep and Ship. If you're interested in a prep and ship company, you can email him at travis@ictrealinvestments.com. The information is below and in the description for his email address if you're looking for a prep center. Now, if you'd like to get a copy of the sheet that we're going to go through, you can head over to askjimmysmith.com/FBA shipping. Again, link is below and in the description. So let's go ahead and pull up the calculator sheet. All right, so here's the sheet. You can see that this is just an example where you can actually start storing boxes. So if you have a miscellaneous box that you always use that is this length, width, and height, it will calculate the dimensional weight for you. We've got ones for like Lowe's medium, Lowe's small. You can store your boxes over here. And if you wanted to add more rows, you could just simply add these things or bring them down, and it will calculate these things out for you. So if I were to put in 12 by 12 by 12, it will calculate that that is a 13-pound dimensional weight box, and you could put in the information here if you want to. Now this link won't be on the download whenever you get it. This is just for the purposes of the video if anybody's interested, but that is how this works. You start to store which boxes, so that way you don't have to enter in and use the calculator every time. You know that a Lowe's medium that's this size, for example, has 38 pounds of dimensional weight. that is your goal weight for your shipments. You're trying to get, any time that you use this box, you're trying to get the weight to 38 pounds or higher. Because if it's at 30 pounds, then you're paying for 8 pounds more than you should be, based off its dimensional weight for that example. So this is a very good tool to just quickly know, to even post these common box sizes in your warehouse, at your prep center, whatever you're using. Post that near a computer so that people know when they're packing boxes where they need to get them to from a weight perspective. Now, here is a simple calculator if you're just curious on the dimensional weight. It only has space for 7 boxes at this point. If you know Excel, you could probably extend this out a little bit more. But ultimately, if you were putting in box sizes that were 18 by 18 by 16, here's the dimensional weight. And 24 by 18 by 24, here's the dimensional weight of 75. So these are important things to know, because Amazon only allows up to 50 pounds in a typical shipment, unless there's reasons that it should be over 50 pounds, which are very few and far between. But for the majority of people watching this, this is an important thing to know, because if you're shipping a box that has a dimensional weight of 75, that means that even if you pack this thing to 45 pounds, you are paying for 75 pounds instead of 45, based off of its dimensions. So if you have a 50 cents per pound shipping rate on average, that means that those 30 pounds are going to cost you another $15 to ship that particular box in this shipment. So it's very good to know. And so let's say we did 45, and here we did 40 pounds. So we got over there, and then here we did 45, and then we did another 45, and then we did a 25, and then a 20. Well, you can see that you've got 245 pounds of actual weight, but the billable weight that Amazon will charge you is 428 pounds. So if I were to just do the calculator at a 40 cents per pound rate, that means you're going to get charged $171 instead of 245 times, instead of $98. So this thing, if you are able to see this up front and start planning for this, then you know, okay, well, how can I get this box from 100 down to something that is at 45 or below? Even if you use this miscellaneous box of 22, 17, 17, if you were to change this to that 22 by 17 by 17, then you know that you're only 1 pound off. So that makes that a little bit easier, right? So this is a very important calculator, because depending on how much your average cost per pound to ship into Amazon is, this makes a huge difference. Ultimately, as you move forward, you want to get it as close to the billable weight as possible. So let's say all of the dimensions here are 38 dimensional weight is 38 pounds. Well, if you can change all of your boxes to be this size, then you are only shipping, or you're shipping in 245 pounds of weight, and you're here getting charged for 289. It's much lower, right? So it can really help you to make a big difference. Now, if you could then maybe move some things around and say that you're now at 45 and 45, just for example, then you're going to see, let's move this one too. You're going to see that now the actual weight and the billable weight match, because you are greater than the dimensional weight on each of those things. Hopefully this makes sense. The idea is you want to make sure that the dimensional weight is equal to or less than your actual weight of a box that you are shipping as much as possible. Get them as close as you possibly can. And you can start to store your boxes over here and measure the ones that you're used to using. Measure them from the outside, because technically on those boxes, if you get them from Lowe's or Walmart, they're going to have it on the inside, the measurements. So if it says 16 by 16 by 17, that's the inside measurements, not the outside measurements. So keep that in mind. You're going to need to build a box and measure it from the outside to make sure that you have the right length, width, and height for building in these box prices. So there you have it. I hope that this clarifies the importance of knowing shipping weights for the boxes that you are sending into Amazon FBA, and that the calculator helps you. Again, you can get that at askjimmysmith.com/FBA shipping. As always, our contest is still running, so you have a chance to win a free copy of my book, Side Hustle to Full-Time Income. Make sure to drop a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and tune into the next video where we'll announce the winner in the middle of that video. I hope this video helps you and blesses you. I hope that you have a great rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week. And as always, I'll see you in the comments.